yet. So this is the T3 curling iron. It's on, so it's like a little radiating heat, but I have this in a 1.25-inch version, so a 1.25 inch. This barrel size is definitely my tried and true size for just really beautiful curls that last really long. It's definitely a little bit more leaning towards the waves and undone curls vibe, but it's just so flexible with like how you want to style your hair. It's pretty much foolproof. It's like the perfect balance of waves and polished curls, and you can kind of go either way. And first off, obviously you can see this is just like such a beautiful curling iron. It looks so great on your vanity in your bathroom. This curling iron has a ceramic clip barrel, and I find that it is the easiest and quickest way for me to style my hair. I personally prefer a clip barrel over the ones where you wrap the clipless barrels. I don't remember the name of those, but essentially you just wrap your hair around it without using a clip. But I personally find that I get a little nervous with that, and like I don't really want to burn myself, and I get a little nervous. So I find that clip barrels are a quicker way for me to get my hair done. And it also has 5 different heat settings. So it goes from 260 Fahrenheit to 410. And as you can see down here, there's like these little light up buttons, and you actually turn it on through like this little dial right here. And right now it's like up to 5, so that's like essentially 410. And you can adjust it by kind of just turning it. I typically like to go between 3 and a 4, depending on how long how long I want my curls to last if I'm just touching up. And obviously my hair is pretty curled. This is like my second day hair. So essentially I will essentially be just using a touch-up situation. So, and you can see right now it's kind of like, it was moving for a sec, it stopped, but that's how it kind of heats up and adjusts itself to the temperature that you're setting at. So even though it is a lower temperature than it originally was, it's just lowering the heat so that it would match the middle temp. So I like a middle temp for touching up, just because I already heated up my hair yesterday, and it's just like touching up some pieces just to like make it look a little bit better after sleeping on it all night. And typically when you first turn this on, you will see the lights flashing, and you just essentially wait for the lights to stop flashing, and it means that, you know, your curling iron's all set and ready to go. You can use it now. I also find that when I am doing my hair freshly washed, it's like my hair is still straight. I'm just going in my first time with like a curling iron. I like to go towards like closer to a 4 in terms of temperature, like the 4th setting, just because I find that I don't have to keep it in my hair too long, which is better for your hair because you're already exposing it to heat. You should really not be exposing it for that long, and putting it at a higher temperature sounds kind of scary, but it just means that you don't have to like keep it in your hair for as long as you would if you did it at a lower setting. So that's kind of my own preference. T3 is just such a great brand for hair tools, hair products. I also have their flat iron, so definitely a T3 fan. All of their products, all their tools are just so beautiful, and they work so incredibly well. And I have used other curling irons before, and I find that my hair just looks a lot smoother using this T3 one. I think it's like the ceramic barrel, and just like it just makes your hair really smooth and feels really, really great. And it also makes my hair actually look a lot healthier. And I have been a blonde for, I don't even know how many years, just like a lot of years. And honestly, like my hair is obviously not the healthiest because of the excessive bleaching and processing, and just like all of the color that I've done for all these years. And it's really important to have tools that you use that help, that you can style your hair but also not like damage it excessively. So before I keep rambling on about my own hair, I'm going to show you guys how I actually curl. So typically, I know my hair is like already pretty much done. It's just slept in, but you can still see there's like like a really pretty waves going down. It's definitely more of a natural, this is like kind of what I really like for my everyday natural hair routine. But then in the next morning, I would typically just like go in and touch up. If my hair was all straight, imagine it not curly or wavy at all. I like to section my hair off into 3 parts. So I'll kind of do like a third, and then I'll work on the bottom. And honestly, I don't even like take too much time on the bottom because like most of it is covered except for the ends. So I don't like do it down to the T, like every single piece of hair needs to be like perfect. And then I'll do the middle section. And typically, I like to do in the very bottom third of my hair, I'll do like alternating curls. And I'll show you guys how I actually use the barrel in a sec. But down here in the bottom third of my hair, I like to do alternating curls. So that just essentially gives you a lot more texture and provides like separation for your hair and your curls and the way they fall. So it kind of is like a more tousled look. And yeah, it's a really great technique if you are looking for a more beachier, more relaxed curl or waves compared to like a more polished, like homogeneous look. So that is something that to keep in mind if that's something that you prefer, just like having looser, beachier waves. I would do alternating sections, and in the middle section of my hair, so essentially here, just before the crown, like just before my roots and my bangs, I start doing them all the way from my face. So all of them in one direction, and above, I just do it all in one direction because I find that I prefer it all to look like it's going in one direction. And I focus more on the actual look as a whole in the middle to top section. So all of the texturizing, all the separation is done kind of on the more inner sides of my hair. And then the actual styling and the look of the waves and the direction of the waves are done like in the middle to top parts. So and that's for like a more beachy tousled wave. If you wanted something that was a little bit more polished, maybe you had like an event, you just wanted to look a little bit more, I guess a little less tousled, a little less everyday. What I like to do is actually curl my entire head in one direction, all the way from my face. And then actually take like a comb and lightly brush it out. So it kind of gives you like just kind of a more like this really amazing bouncy blowout type of curls. And it's really, really pretty. For every day, I prefer a more tousled, separated curls, natural-ish, but not really natural kind of wave. But certain days, I like want something a little bit more prim and proper, which also looks really great. And let's see, so let's touch up a couple pieces. So this iron actually gets really hot even at the third setting. So what I like to do when I do touch-ups, I typically don't even really go to like the bottom just because they already look a little bit curled and a little bit wavy. So I just like if I don't have to, I will like not fix it. I'm also a little lazy, so it's kind of like if it's good, it's good. So I typically just touch up the top, and as you can see, I'm already lacking some volume, which we'll work on that. And the curling also helps. So I will typically just take, like I said, all of the top sections will be going away from your face. And I really like to put the iron right at the center, and then I turn it. And like I said, like this iron heats up so fast that like you don't need to or want to probably like keep it on your hair for too long. So I essentially leave it there for like maybe like 4 seconds, and then I'll like do this and then hold it there at the middle and then hold it a little bit at the end and just kind of drag it down. And as you can see, it's like kind of like a more relaxed curl. Like it's not like a really tight curl. And this is at its hottest too. So since this just came out of the iron, it's gonna look curlier than it will relax into, like it will set into. So you don't have to worry about it like not matching the rest of your head. So I just kind of let it sit there. And I just kind of go around the top of my head and just kind of do the same thing. So clamp in the middle, twist up, and then let it go, and then twist up some more. And then I usually leave like about 1 inch at the ends, which kind of helps with the tousled look. And then I'll hold it for 4 seconds. let the top section go, hold it at the middle, and then hold it at the end. And kind of just that almost dragging motion helps loosen your curls a little bit. So it's not like a super, super tight curl, which I prefer. So for the bangs, that's the only section I do a little bit differently. I do it like a wrap curl. So if you had like a clipless barrel, and then I just kind of hold it like pretty quickly. And I don't like it when my bangs are too tight, so I kind of twist it and then I'll like pull it down a little bit to loosen it some more. So if you ever do like a curl and you accidentally hold it in the barrel for too long, I would just kind of like tug at it so it like loosens up a little bit before it sets. So that's kind of what I like to do, because sometimes I get distracted and I'll end up leaving my hair in the barrel for longer than I would like. So that's something I find really helpful. And I just essentially, for touch-ups, I look for pieces that look undone, like that I need, it like pretty much looks straight. My hair is very fine and straight, so once a piece decides to straighten out, it's like no longer curly no more, which it just sticks out like a sore thumb. Probably should have combed my hair. I'm so sorry, guys. But yeah, so I would just go in. Essentially, the top section is probably the most important you would want to touch up, since it's like the most visible section of your hair. And like that, I leave like around an inch and then finish curling it all the way up, and then just kind of like let it go. And like I essentially, like, you see how there's like this one random piece that's like straighter than the rest? I would go in and fix that. But I mean, you know, you're touching up your hair. You don't need to pay too much, like, you don't need to be too stressed out about getting every single piece. Everything's a little bit more relaxed already anyways. So it's like more so just making sure that it's still curly and there isn't a piece that's like excessively straight. And like you can kind of gauge how everything looks too, when you're looking at your hair, when you're like curling it. And I find that this technique kind of gives like a rounder curl. Sometimes depending on how you want your curls to sit, you could definitely like adjust the way you're using the clip barrel. But this is kind of how I've been doing my curls, my waves every day. And then once I do one side, I just kind of let it sit there and just cool down and set itself. And then I'll start working on the other side. Let's see. And I mean, I part my hair on the right side. So this side typically has less hair. So you can get this side done like a lot quicker. But essentially I'll just use the same technique all over my head. This barrel is so great because it stays at such a great temperature that you don't have to hold it in your hair for too long. And you can I can get my hair done in like less than 10 minutes, which is really great. Like the actual curling part. I have really thick, fine, flat hair. So it takes a long time to like dry my hair. But in terms of styling, it's actually really quick, especially with this curling iron. And like kind of using this technique and using a clip barrel, like that whole combination just makes like the styling process a lot easier and a lot quicker. I'm actually going to show you like down here, like how I would also use a clip barrel instead of the technique I've been using. You'll see a lot of hairstylists use like this specific technique, but essentially you would wrap it like this, and then you would kind of like let it out, and then you would slide the barrel further and then wrap it, and then hold it, and then like kind of slide it out a little bit more, and then do the same thing. So you would essentially be doing it in each section, and you can kind of see the difference between this piece, which is how I did like just the technique I did now, versus these pieces where it's like a much rounder curl. Doing this other technique where you curl the first part and then kind of do each portion of the curl separately, it gives like a tighter wave. So depending on the look you're trying to go for, those are my two favorite ways to curl my hair. And then my bangs, I'll do like this clip thing. And I don't really like, I'm okay with certain pieces being left out, especially if I'm just touching up. And since like everything's already at least a little bit wavy or textured, it doesn't look as crazy as if my hair was like stick straight and I was doing like my first pass on the curling iron after I like washed my hair or something. So this is like essentially like just like a really quick way to like touch up all of your curls. You'll see it's like I kind of essentially, it looks kind of crazy right now, but I essentially kind of just, I always do my hair first and then I'll like do my makeup so it has time to set and kind of just like do its thing and cool down. So essentially I just look like this. And I always kind of just clip it to the side with like a little hair clip. And I also added some really great options for you guys, like in the product section of this show. It's like the little square with little mini 4 squares. There's like some really great styling tools beyond like this T3. There's like some really great butterfly clips that help you section your hair. Some of my favorite hair ties. Some clips for like sectioning away your hair when you wanted to do your makeup and your hair is just setting. So just some really great hair tools and products. And so how you turn it off, you kind of just turn the same mechanism at the bottom and then you hold it and you'll see it kind of like start going down, and that's like when it starts to turn off. And if you're just tuning in, we just covered this amazing T3 curling iron. Just a fantastic styling tool that will last you so long. It's become my one and done styling tool that I use every day. It's really just so great. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below and I can look back and answer them. And if you've come across anything that you're dying to get your hands on, remember that there is a 15% off. Any of the products I talk about, any of the products you see in the product view in this 4 little squares, and any of those products will be 15% off during the show and also for 30 minutes after the show. So for the next product I'll be introducing to y'all is essentially the next step in my hair routine after I like curl my hair, it's done setting. I typically like to go in with a texturizing spray. So let me share that.